At the Driver Rehabilitation Center, we have experts. Cam Woolley is our legal expert. Philippe Laterno is our high-speed driving teacher. Shamalek Hiru is our resident therapist. And Tim Danter is our head driving instructor. We also have Canada's worst drivers. Polly from rural Ontario is our befuddled driver. She came to rehab to learn big city driving techniques.
What happened here?
Shalom from Calgary, Alberta, is our new driver. He came to rehab to learn all driving techniques.
Is there a flaw in our licensing system?
Yes, like I don't deserve a license. There is a flaw, like to have my license, and I have so few tools.
Renee from Winnipeg, Manitoba, is our worried driver. She came to rehab to learn high-speed driving techniques. And finally, Jillian from the Goulds, Newfoundland, is our really, really worried driver. She came to rehab to learn how to simply cope driving alone.
You did what you were supposed to do. That's fine. We're okay.
At the end of this episode, we will be naming the 3 finalists for Canada's Worst Driver, Season 11. But first, it's time for an annual challenge we call
The Cross!
And this year, we're doing it in a bus.
That looks like a train. Why would we use a bus for this challenge? Well, I could tell you that its elongated wheelbase will teach Canada's worst drivers a very exaggerated lesson about front-end swing when going in reverse. And that when going forward, it will clearly demonstrate that rear wheels do not follow front wheels when going around a turn. But the real reason we picked up this vehicle? We think it's hilarious.
To pass the cross, drivers have to back the bus up into this number 1 slot, then into number 2, 3, and 4.
I'll show you how it's done.
Once I set my mirrors,
I'm good to go.
this is our second last show of the season. And by now, the bad drivers have been taught everything they need to know about backing up a vehicle of any length.
I want to get as close to those blocks as I can. Ooh, not that close. Knowing that my pivot point, I better get away from there or I'm going to hit it. Knowing that my pivot point is my wheel, which is just past it now.
Steering full left doesn't swing the bus quite enough to get into the slot. So, when I run out of room, I'll have to pull forward to realign. And to do that, I'll use this convex mirror on the hood.
It shows the very nose of my truck, and by seeing that, I can gauge the corners.
I back up to swing the front end around a little more. Then,
I'm just going to go forward one more time. This one should get me in there. Wow, this is actually easier than I thought it would be.
once you make it into the first slot, backing into 2, 3, and 4 is essentially identical. I complete the cross in 13 minutes.
Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Jillian is using her fiancé as an advisor.
I need help, honey. You can't just sit there.
Okay.
And as a punching bag.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, you are arguing with me,
I'm
though.
not.
Mitchell nominated Jillian as Canada's worst driver because she's afraid of driving alone.
What, you want me to go in reverse?
I'll go the other way.
What? What way?
By the time Jillian gets into the first slot, she's stopped thinking and is completely relying on Mitchell.
Okay.
Oh, I'm in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's this going for you?
This is going all right.
It's not going too bad.
Mitch is working well as your security blanket?
Yes.
You know what I'm going to do now, don't you?
Yes.
Come on, Mitch. Let's go hang out somewhere else.
Sweet.
You can do this without him. You can totally do this without him.
Do not cry, do not cry, do not cry.
She said last night that she don't think she's ready to go home and that she really wants to get more time with Tim and Shamala.
Do not cry.
Mitch says that you want to have some more time with Shamala. That's obviously true.
Yes, because I don't want to cry anymore.
You know, guys, we've had tons of people on the show that have struggled with confidence and anxiety, and we see how that affects their driving. But Jillian's really unique in that her skill level is up here and her confidence is way down here.
Bye, I'm taking your man away somewhere else. Have a good ending.
Some driving phobias can never be cured, but they can be managed. Jillian has been hoping to get magically cured of her driving phobia, and frankly, that's been our goal too.
I don't want to do this anymore.
What we need to do during her remaining time in rehab, though, is forget about curing Jillian and focus on teaching her how to simply manage her anxiety.
Oh, I just want to get this done.
Jillian's rehab experience is almost over, but she still has a long way to go.
All I want to do is get the bus in the space without having a meltdown.
Shalom starts by adjusting his mirrors.
Okay, that's fun.
So you'd think he would be using those mirrors? He's not.
That's not good.
No.
That's Shmuel, Shalom's brother.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Don't worry about me.
You are using your mirror, right?
Yeah.
And why are you hitting this thing 3 times in a row if you're using your mirror?
I'm using them. I'm not using them correctly.
I think I know at least one of the finalists for Canada's Worst Driver. You don't see your own vehicle in that mirror.
No.
So you didn't set your mirrors?
No, I didn't say it correctly. Go further it out.
How'd he get his license?
Let's say you live in Calgary. I would recommend that you call the Ministry of Transportation and say, who gave this person a license? And is that person still working? And if so, why can't we flog him publicly in the street? The license guy, not Shalom.
I saw that.
Shalom is practically an Einstein.
Einstein couldn't drive.
Polly has some strange beliefs about steering in reverse.
I want to go to the left, so I'm going to steer to the right.
She's not kidding. She really believes that will work.
So I want to go to the left.
You're overthinking it.
That's Jeff, Polly's son-in-law.
I have to turn to the right.
Why would you have to turn to the right?
I don't know.
Jeff talks Polly into the first slot.
You want the front end to swing. Just go nice and slow.
But when Jeff stops talking,
I'm going to go straight there and then do that.
Polly gets wedged.
Yeah.
After 7 episodes in rehab, Polly should have better spatial awareness than this.
I'm just lost. I'm...
Renee becomes the first Canada's Worst Driver nominee to utilize their nominator.
How's my front end swing? I'm watching.
That's Jackie, Renee's cousin.
Am I good? You got room?
Renee not only has room, she has skills.
Am I in? You're in.
Before rehab, Renee couldn't reverse at all. And now?
I just parked glass 4 times.
Over the last few days,
This is where we will slow down.
Well, that's good advice. You can slow down in here.
Tim has been taking Canada's Worst Drivers out for public lessons.
Okay, I'm learning.
I'm going to get you over this hiccup.
Oh,
I'm going to get you over this hiccup.
And yesterday's highway driving lesson with Renee went so well.
I'm going to get out of the car and you're going to do this by yourself. You told me you were just up for a challenge.
Until you said that.
No.
Tim realized she's ready to drive alone.
When I get out of a car, I am giving you my stamp of approval saying you can do this.
Really?
Absolutely.
One thing Tim has taught Renee to do
Okay. I'm just gonna go on a freeway by myself.
is conduct what he calls a driver's commentary by articulating everything she's seeing and doing.
I'm gonna look around the bend. I'm gonna start my acceleration. But there's another truck in that lane, so I need to watch to make sure that I'm not too close to it. But I gotta gain speed because I gotta go with the flow of traffic.
Overcoming her fear of the highways is the main reason Renee came to rehab.
I'm gonna shoulder check. I'm gonna get in, but there's a car, so I'm gonna ease up because I need to have enough room between me and the car. And I'm gonna still watch the car behind me because he looks like he's coming up fast, but he's turning off. So I'm gonna stay in this lane, and I'm gonna breathe because I'm already on the road. And I just did that. The scary part is over.
When we come back,
no brake pedal, just handbrake.
Canada's Worst Drivers learn how to do a forward 180-degree spin out using their handbrake.
You're pushing the gas, not the brake.
You know what sets the Driver Rehabilitation Center apart from other driving schools? It's the fact that for 11 years now, we've been teaching stunt driving. The next technique that Canada's Worst Drivers will be taught
And then tested on is how to do a forward 180-degree spin out using the handbrake. As always, it's going to be pretty cool.
And as always, it's a skill that will be taught by Philippe Letourneau, who does this impressive maneuver, which is illegal on public roads, by the way, by driving approximately 35k an hour, then suddenly releasing the gas pedal before turning one way, then the other way, then pulling the handbrake.
When I pull on the emergency brake, which wheels will lock up?
The front.
Nope.
The back.
The back, yeah.
What does that do?
That's what I'm asking. What does it do?
The handbrake lever is attached to a cable that's attached to the back of the car through magical elements that only mechanics understand. All you need to know is that when you pull the lever, the rear wheels stop turning. And as Canada's Worst Drivers have been taught, wheels that are not turning have less traction than rotating wheels.
You make it look so freaking easy.
It is easy, but not for Canada's Worst Drivers. Polly puts her thumb on the handbrake button, allowing it to lock and unlock repeatedly. Jillian stares at the cone and drives straight into it. And Renee instinctively hits the foot brake, which doesn't allow the front to pivot.
No brake pedal, just handbrake.
But the most common problem is pulling the handbrake before the second turn starts really swinging the car around.
So you started pulling, we were still going kind of straight.
Oh,
so you want to go around and then pull.
Oh, I see.
Around and then pull.
After a while, though,
Here we go.
all of Canada's Worst Drivers
Here we go.
do get good at performing
Et voila.
this fairly tricky technique.
Oh my God, woo!
The car they'll be using for this challenge is our 2002 Honda Civic. And to pass, they have to do a 180-degree handbrake spin out in this confined space around this foam figure. I'll show you how it's done.
I take off. My target speed is 35. I want to get up there. There's 30. There's
35 right there. Off the gas. One way, the other way. And I whip that puppy around, yeah?
Some days, I really love my job.
Who's a stunt driver? I'm a stunt driver.
Polly will do the maneuver around a replica of Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
We teach this skill so the bad drivers can practice extreme steering, and so they can focus on pedal control and speed and coordination and on staying safe when things seem chaotic. Polly fails on all levels.
Put off the gas, a little there.
You're pushing the gas, not the brake.
Oh, come on.
Could we start over?
Totally. Let's do it again. What went wrong there, Polly?
Somehow, my foot went back on that gas.
This has happened before. Polly accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake in the distracted driving demonstration.
Now you're panicking again and you push the gas. Stop. Brakes. Brakes.
And she did it in the swerve and avoid challenge.
What did I tell you?
Let off the gas. Jeez.
And it's something she's done in her real life.
I panicked, and I just...
What have you hit because you gave the car extra gas?
Birchall's brand new vehicle.
You're from the Ottawa area. You must know that story about 15 years ago. There was an old man in the market area in Ottawa who hit the gas instead of the brake, and he killed something like 4 people.
Remember that story?
Yes, sir, I do.
I think the absolute ugliest, most uncomfortable part of this job is that sometimes I look at people who need to drive for professional reasons, social reasons, family reasons, and I say to those people, you really shouldn't drive. I'm worried that Polly really shouldn't drive.
To pass this challenge, drivers will get 3 chances.
Slide it around. What about brake? You're pushing the gas.
Oh!
Stop.
Polly, do you know what the most uncomfortable part of my job is?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
It's when sometimes I have to look people in the eye and say, I don't think you should drive. Do I have to say that to you?
I'm hoping you don't have to say that.
If we keep on getting in emergency situations and hitting the gas, I may have to say that.
Okay?
I don't want to tell a really fun, vibrant person that I really actually like that they shouldn't drive, but what are you supposed to say to a woman who hits the gas in emergency situations? Here's her 3rd attempt.
On this attempt, Polly fumbles with the handbrake, but never really pulls it.
You didn't even pull the e-brake. What are you doing? You're still not touching the brake pedal.
I pulled that.
But you still never put your foot on the brake at all.
Polly has to learn how to stop when things go wrong.
Hit the brake. Just hit the brake. That's a goal for me.
When we come back,
Did I do it?
the rest of Canada's worst drivers are tested on the 180-degree spin-out challenge.
Oh, man, that was bad.
Canada's worst drivers have learned how to do a 180-degree spin-out using their handbrake.
Oh, I'm gonna hit it. Oh.
Now, they're being tested on that skill.
You didn't even pull the e-brake.
And Renee will be the next driver to do the maneuver around a cutout of their nominator.
That's funny.
Renee's an amazing story here at rehab. Before coming, she drove 60 kilometers an hour on the highway with her four ways flashing. That's how afraid she was. Now, she's able to try to do something like this.
Okay, release the gas. Big one. Did I do it?
Almost. And her second attempt is also just shy of 180 degrees.
Here she goes, last chance. Come on, Renee.
Gas off. Start my turn.
Are we gonna call this a pass?
Yeah, I would call it a pass.
Is it a pass? I just don't know.
I'm gonna put it all on Jackie. Is this a pass?
It's a pass. It's a pass.
It's a pass, apparently.
Shalom failed every single challenge there was until last episode. And it was a difficult challenge, too.
What? Did you just do it? You just did it! You just did it!
Now, Shalom is explaining to Shamala how he achieved that success.
I have this toy car right here, and it's given me a few extra practice runs, not on course, but mentally, because whenever I have a training now, I go through it with the car.
So how long have you been doing that?
I did it for the reverse 180, and I find it helped me give it a practice.
If collecting educational tools were all it took to pass, Shalom would have graduated a long time ago.
Passing my toy car. Okay, so turn harshly, bring it down here. Then do the brake. I'm gonna pass. Just one attempt is enough.
He only needs one attempt. Let's see.
Making a wide opening turn is critical to passing. Shalom doesn't do that.
Damn it.
As you're coming here,
Yeah.
are you making the left turn to get off balanced?
Yeah?
Are you?
No, not in this run. I'm not.
No. Get in the car and do it.
Okay, yeah. Make you proud.
Run like the wind, my friend.
Be a man. I am a man.
Drive like a man, man.
I got this, Andrew.
Whenever you're ready, man.
I am a man.
Shalom, man run.
Once again, Shalom makes an insignificant first turn.
Oh, man, that was bad. Every time you make this little mamby-pamby non-man turn,
yeah,
and because you don't slingshot out and change your momentum in before you pull the brake, you just drive through the wall.
Yes. Pass me my toy car. I'm not gonna be a Nancy boy. Slingshot, slingshot, slingshots, then do it. I get it.
It's the same every time. Straight past the obstacle, little small pull of the handbrake, and through the wall. Last chance.
Shalom fails to man up about this failure.
If I could do it again, I'd probably ace it.
Jillian wants Mitchell in the car with her.
You in where you go, Mitch?
I'm going with you, Bo.
Exactly, yeah.
When she showed up in rehab, she wouldn't have tolerated the thought of Mitch being out of the car, and now look at her. She's calm.
Okay, you can do this. Oh, you can do this. You just have to do it right.
Doing it right means doing the maneuver early.
Foot off the brake.
Just too late.
You okay?
I don't want to do this by myself anymore.
Yeah, no, you totally want to do this by yourself. Why do you think you don't want to do it by yourself?
I can't
If Mitch was with you, you'd be okay?
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
It's okay.
And I said this to Blake
Let's hold on.
this morning.
Hold on. And we're going to talk about where it went wrong then, okay? You're hitting your brakes here. Look at your rear tires lock up. See that line?
Yeah.
If you go cut it wide here and then turn this way and pull it about here, are you going to hit that?
No, because I'll go around, right?
Exactly.
On her next try, she does pull the brake sooner, but her left turn has barely begun.
I'm doing it! I'm doing it!
Let's leave her.
I don't want to do this anymore.
As soon as she's done here, I'm going to run out, change, and take her for a drive and get her driving on her own.
How much has she changed since getting here?
Oh, God. It's been a full change. There's a whole new person I'm going out with now.
Jillian may not seem like a whole new person to you, but that's because you only see her in the car.
So I'm going to do it right now. That was way better.
Thanks to our coaching, Jillian barely yells anymore while driving.
Mitch was just saying you're a whole new person. He said, I'm going out with a whole different person. Is that true?
I start yelling in the car, and it doesn't just leave when you get out of the car. You know what I mean? We're not fighting.
Wow.
It's way better. It's 100% better.
It's been a really big deal.
Wow.
This has been a big accomplishment for us.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just a new person. It's a new relationship for both of you.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Oh my God.
When we come back, Canada's worst drivers do our fastest slalom ever.
Oh, the traffic around here is nuts. All right, everybody, cross. Come on. The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is going to be a high-speed slalom. At least, it's going to seem like that. But really, it's much deeper. What it really is a common sense test. It's an annual event we do here, and it's really known as Know Your Limits. Come on, everybody, hurry up. All right, you, proceed. I'm taking these guys to the course. Go on.
For the Know Your Limits challenge, drivers will do a very widely spaced slalom at 80 kilometers an hour. Once they pass that test, they'll be asked to reduce the gaps between the foam figures, but not by so much that they fail. Will they know their limits? Our brand new to Hutch Charger is threatening to die before our final episode. So, to make sure it survives, we'll be using our 1974 Town and Country station wagon for this challenge.
Woohoo! This machine is a beaut. I'm at 80. Ooh, I'm at 77. There's 80. So I come around the foam figures. There's number 1.
With proper hand position, I never let go of the wheel.
Woohoo! This is a ride and a half. Ah! Did I drop my speed? Yes, I did. I'm down to 72. But that's okay.
I'm not going to reduce the distance between the foam figures because I know my limits. Does Renee know her limits?
Renee's kind of an incredible story. Before coming here to rehab, she would put her 4-way hazard lights on and blink them every single time she got on the highway. Now, can she do an 80-kilometer-an-hour slalom? Let's see.
Look where I want to go. Look where I want to go. Oh my God. Keep looking. And look where I want to go. And that's how does. Like a boss.
Yeah, this really isn't the challenge. The challenge is knowing your limit.
not whether you can do this. Everybody's gonna be able to do this. All right, that's the first part.
Oh, what?
Oh, no.
So the gap right now is 35 meters in between each figure. What can you do it at?
30?
30, so we'll reduce each one by 5?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that.
That's not very smart. 5 meters at that speed is a lot.
I think 5 meters reduction in each gap might be impossible for Renee.
Round 2.
Do you think she can succeed in this one? I don't.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It's okay.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no, I'm getting there. It's okay.
Renee does not know her limits.
Don't do things that you think maybe you can do. Because if maybe you can do them, then maybe you can't.
While Canada's worst drivers do the Know Your Limits challenge,
Ready to go for a ride?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Shamala is taking Jillian out for some public driving.
So I want you to actually shift your mind away completely from the idea of getting into an accident and focus on what you can actually control.
Okay.
The training in question will be Jillian driving alone with only the GPS to guide her. Shamala told Jillian to focus on what she can control.
I don't want to go in that route. No, I can't say that. Okay.
But instead of doing that, Jillian is focusing on whining and complaining
But I don't want to turn here.
and stressing.
Your destination is on the right.
Back at the rehab center, Shalom is practicing with his man toy.
Right away, as soon as I pass the first obstacle, look to the left. Whoosh. Then look to the right.
Okay.
Of the opening, look at that. Whoosh, and then bring it home, baby.
Here he comes. Will he be successful at 80 kilometers an hour, slaloming through 5 foam figures? Let's see.
I see hand-over-hand steering, which translates to an epic failure.
The question now is, going again at 80, how much can we tighten those people up and make it?
I want to keep it the same. It's challenging enough for me. Right?
Yes! That's right!
Oh, I didn't know that was okay.
He knows his limits. Or does he?
I'm doing too extreme,
Shalom promises to never test his driving limits again.
I don't have the skills to test my limits. I have to go within where I feel comfortable going, you know? Yeah, it may take me longer to get home, but I'll do it.
When we come back, Jillian's public drives conclude.
Oh, see? People don't know how to use four-way stops. I can use a four-way stop.
And the Know Your Limits challenge also comes to an ugly end. While Jillian snots and balls on her way back to the rehab center today, Polly gets ready to do the 80-kilometer-an-hour slalom.
Okay, here she comes. After the last challenge, when she didn't hit the brake, when things went all squirrely, I'm a little bit concerned about how she'll do at 80 kilometers an hour.
Okay, I'm doing 80 now. I'm going in here. Oh, Jeffrey. Jeffrey?
Don't ask me. You look where you want to go.
Okay, look where I want to go. Look where I want to go.
Where's your limits? How much can we reduce the distance between the people?
5 meters.
5 meters.
We'll try it.
This is within your limits, right?
That's for sure.
I'm a little worried. Let's see. Stay at 80.
Polly took a risk. And you should never take risks behind the wheel.
What the did I just do?
Meanwhile, Jillian has completed 3 short solo drives.
I'm just glad it's over.
And now she's back at the rehab center to do the Know Your Limits challenge.
Guess what I just did?
What? Because I know that you went out with Shamla, and?
I drove 10 kilometers.
Come here, you.
And crying was like, not a lot.
Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
How'd it go with Jillian?
It went well.
We put you home right now today. Would you go out onto a street that you didn't know with no one else in the car?
I would try.
Yeah!
That's all we can ask for.
I would try.
That's the
all we
first
can
time
ask
you've
for.
said that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to stay here for the final episode of Canada's Worst Driver?
I want to do that hour drive.
Now, normally, I would be in the car with the person doing that hour drive, but you're a unique case. Should I let you do that by yourself with a GPS navigating you around?
I think so.
I think so, too. A 1-hour solo drive will be Jillian's ultimate test in our final episode.
Let's run away.
Okay.
Her attitude was probably at its best, but her driving sucks.
If we reduce that, then you try it again, steering correctly, how much space could we pull from each gap?
Well, I didn't do it the first time at 80.
Right.
So I don't want you to reduce them.
That's a pass on the Know Your Limits challenge.
Oh, okay.
Jillian says her limit is 50K an hour. And she does it.
I'm not crying! Yes! Thank God I finally did a challenge without crying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, she totally did though too, didn't you?
When we come back,
Do you want to graduate this episode?
the Canada's Worst Driver finalists will be chosen. On this episode of Canada's Worst Driver, the nominees did our annual cross challenge.
Going by feel, eh?
Yeah.
They learned how to do a handbrake spin out.
That was way better.
And we learned whether or not they know their limits. Now it's time for our experts to chat with the 4 remaining nominees so they can decide who will graduate before our final episode. And Renee, who yesterday had excellent public drives with and without Tim, will speak first.
When he told me I was going to be alone, initially I wanted to cry, but I just, nope, I can do this. And, you know, halfway through, the anxiety did peak up a little bit, but I talked myself through it using everything that you guys have taught me, and I was pretty proud of myself.
Last episode, you told us that you weren't ready to throw your son Ryder in the back of the car and hit the highway the day you got home. And we suggested that because of that, you weren't ready to graduate. Were we wrong?
No, you know what? I don't think what you did was wrong at all, because now I just drove on the scariest highway, I think, by myself. My highways in Winnipeg are going to be nothing compared to that, and I will feel confident driving with Ryder in the back, because
First time home.
Absolutely. It's nothing compared to what I just did.
Renee wants to graduate. And I assume Shalom will also want to graduate just so he can avoid being in our final episode.
No, I have so much work. To me, it's not...
You know that in our next episode, there is no more instruction, There's only judgment.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of that.
And you don't want to graduate?
Yeah, because the judging is part of the learning.
Does Polly want to graduate?
No. No.
You don't?
No.
You want to be in the final episode?
Yes.
I already know that Jillian wants to be in the final episode, and she wants to do the final test without anyone else in the car with her.
I want to prove to myself that I could be on a road in a place where I don't know where I am for an entire hour and drive by myself.
Renee is the only person who doesn't want to be in the finals.
Second last episode of Canada's Worst Driver before the finals, and only one person wants to graduate?
That's shocking.
Yeah.
3 people want to be in the finals.
They're usually all trying to jump off the ship.
Of course. I guess the real question then is, does Renee deserve to graduate? Or should we be taking 4 people into the final episode of Canada's Worst Driver? Well, that's it for the second last episode of Canada's Worst Driver, Season 11. Which means it's time for me to name this year's 3 finalists. But first, it's time for me to name one more graduate. Or is it? Just before coming out here, the experts and I were actually debating the merits of bringing all 4 of you into the final episode. And Renee, we decided that you should drive home right now.
Congratulations.
Now, you're this year's next graduate. Don't worry. You deserve it. You did really well.
In the opening days of rehab, Renee's lack of basic skills led to a lot of failures. Some of them colossal.
I give up.
But Renee persisted, and she learned how to reverse. She learned how to park.
I parked a Cadillac.
And she learned how to verbalize her high-speed driving.
This is what I'm afraid of, and this is what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna pass and breathe.
And that proved to be the game changer.
Guess where Ryder's going when you get home?
To the water park.
There you go.
Before coming to rehab, Renee wouldn't take her son Ryder to the water park because...
You always have that reverse drive. What?
Renee was too afraid of speed to drive Ryder on the highway.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. I don't want to anymore.
But now, those days are gone.
I love you, and I thank you so much for doing this.
Don't make me cry. I love you.
Okay, let's not look at each other.
Have fun driving Ryder on the highway! Join us again next episode when these fine people drive me in public. Then I will be naming one of them Canada's Worst Driver.
On the next and final episode of Canada's Worst Driver. The finalists do our annual 3 in a Car Challenge.
Should we just give you the trophy now?
No.
They're tested on everything they've learned in our
Mega
Challenge.
Oh, do I not have a brain?
And in their ultimate driving test, wow, we see how good each of them is on public roads. Or do we?
I don't want to do it.
Canada's worst driver is...
Pass me my toy car. I'm not going to be a Nancy boy.